Hello friends, welcome back to another video, or welcome in if you're new. If you don't know, my name is Nola, and here you'll find lots of journaling and planning content, as well as some behind the scenes studio vlogs for my stationery business. Today's video is a 2023 bullet journal yearly spread setup. That was a bit of a mouthful. The journal that I'm using is a new one for me this year. It's Ottergami. I'll link it below. I've never used them before, but so far so good. I really enjoy the paper and how it's been handling my pens and my markers. It is, I think it's 192 pages and 160 GSM. As far as I know, I'll link the exact one that I'm using below. This one is the dark brown, the Pro, I think they called it. And I also bought one pretty much the exact same except in a cream colour, and I'm going to use that for my reading journal setup. So this setup, I have decided to go with kind of a neutral pinky beige kind of theme. My first page here is just a cover page. I do this in pretty much all of my journals. I like to use that first page as just a little collage kind of to start the year, something a bit fun. There's no real meaning to it. I just thought it would be a nice way to start the journal. So I've got 2023 written up in the corner, and at the bottom that sticker you see of the cute cozy witch is by It's Luna Lou, who I follow on Instagram and YouTube and Twitch. She has amazing artwork and is such a lovely person, so if you've never checked her out, you should go check out her info. I'll pop that below in the description. Most of the stickers that I'm using throughout the planner will be either mine or an artist called Julie Sophie Art, and this is somebody I found recently through the market that I had been doing a couple of weeks ago. Their artwork is beautiful and the colours are exactly what I wanted to go with. Tie in really well with most of the colours that I use anyway. So you'll see lots of stickers by her in my setup this year, as well as my own. Here you can see I'm setting up my future log. I created the craft paper stickers and the birthday stickers. So for my future log, I'm not putting the dates in numerical order below. I've decided I'm sectioning off. So at the bottom I have that section for any birthdays that are happening that month, and then the section above I can put in any important events or dates, and I may use that also to plan out my YouTube videos too. My next spread is my 2022 reflections and my intentions and goals for 2023. I've never really done the 2022 reflections page in my journal before. I've done it in my head, but I thought it would be nice to have a space to write and look back on and compare to my future goals. It's just a nice way to reflect and remember what I achieved for 2022 and what I feel like I would like to work more on. So I've just given myself some space to have a little bit of a journal session, and on the intentions page I've split it in two so that I can write in my business goals and my personal goals. I have a whole other video coming out and it's going to be all about my goal setting and systems for 2023. So if that's something you're interested in, keep an eye out. That should be coming in January. Most of the titles in my spreads I've used my stamp alphabet. I'm not really very good at calligraphy. I did a little bit there with the numbers, but it's not something that I've practiced. It is something I want to get better at and try, and hopefully that's something I can try to do more of in 2023, but I do like how the stamps look anyway, so I thought that's the headers that I would go with this year for most of the setups. Most of the time I just like to decorate with a little bit of washi tape and a sticker with the header. Nothing overly complicated. It's therapeutic for me to fill in my journal, but I don't like to overcomplicate things with the designs. I do like doodling and drawing, but most of the time I don't have the time to both come up with the ideas and have the time to fulfill them. So having stickers and keeping things simple is just nice for me. It works for me, and that's the joy of a bullet journal. You can do whatever it is that works for you, and that's the fun part about it. So the next spread is my quarterly goals breakdown. Like I was saying before, I have a whole video coming out about goals and systems, and the point of it really is not just to write down what goals I want and have all these lofty big list goals. I want to try and be really intentional about my goal setting and figure out a system that means that I'll be able to actually work on them actively. There's been times in the past where I've written goals down and 6 months down the line I kind of find myself having forgotten what I'd written. So I thought maybe using a quarterly planning system would help me keep focused on the goals that I have. So I split it up into 4 pages, so that's quarters 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then each month of the quarter, so that's January, February, March, so 3 months for each year, or for each quarter. And then what I've done is split the page in 2. So my intention is to have one overarching goal for the year. Mostly this quarterly planning is going to be for my business. I'm not going to use these for my personal, and that's pretty much what my journal is. A lot of it's going to be my business stuff. I'll have personal events and things noted in my weekly and monthlies just so that I know when I'm busy, so that I don't accidentally clash with other plans. But for the most part, any of the goal planning and things will be for my business. And because I've got that one overarching goal, I have split the quarterly into 2 sections for each month. There are 2 parts of the business that I want to focus on the most to help achieve that one overarching goal. I will go into a lot more depth in my goals videos, so if you want to hear more about that, then don't forget to subscribe so that you're notified whenever the video for goals setting comes out, because it will come out in a few weeks' time. And I wouldn't want you to forget and miss it. I really like creating those headers, so I do this a lot in my journal. Even if I'm just doing like a plan or a project, I kind of like to start off with having some washi tape and a header and a few stickers. I feel like it really anchors the page and it's fun to set up. It really helps me kind of focus on what that page's purpose is. The next spreads here are for tracking, so I want to do a lot of tracking for my social media this year for the business, just so I can kind of gauge whether or not I'm making my way towards the goals that I've set for myself. I'm not really intentionally looking into numbers, if that makes sense. So for me, the growth that I want next year is community, and there are number goals I have in my head that would be nice to hit, but realistically hitting those numbers aren't really in my control. Growing my community and doing things for my business that way is a much more realistic goal for me to reach. So these are just statistics that I can follow to see if I'm growing my community. So I'll be able to track on the left page, you see my Instagram statistics, so that's really just how many people that I've got following me each month. And the little section to the right of the Instagram stats is a YouTube tracker, and that is to track my cumulative hours watched on YouTube. I've put a lot more focus into YouTube these past few months, and it's something I want to continue into 2023. I love filming and editing, and it's taken me a while to really find my groove with what it is I want to film in, and now that I've kind of gotten into it, I've been really enjoying it, and I've found myself able to upload more weekly. It's nice that it's a way for me to be able to track if the effort that I'm putting in is resulting in more watch time, to see if the people that are watching my videos actually like them, if the content that I'm making is things that people want to watch. Obviously I want to make stuff that I enjoy, but it would be nice to also make things that everybody else enjoys too. And then on the right hand page you can see is the main YouTube tracker. Basically I want to track then monthly for each individual month how many followers I got that month and how many watch hours were watched that month, and that way I can just kind of see if that's increasing month on month, or if it's staying the same. Maybe give me a better idea of whether I need to change up what kind of content I'm creating to make sure that people are still enjoying it. So these next two are also trackers. One is for my Etsy. This is just a way for me to track how many orders, sales and revenue I've got coming in for each month. Mostly just to give me an idea of how well my shop's doing month to month. And it means I can track throughout the year where there might be higher periods of busyness, and it'll help me kind of figure out how I want to plan out my future years for my shop. And then on the right hand side is my pen pal tracker. So because I've started doing pen paling, I have currently 2. I've given a space for a third, but this way I can write the name, address and when I've sent or received any pen pal letters, so that I can keep track of how long it's been, so I don't leave it too long to get back to one of my pen pals. So here is a flip through of the full setup for my 2023 bullet journal. I've really enjoyed creating all my spreads, figuring out what's going to work best for me in 2023. Hopefully I've not missed anything, but if I have, that's fine. I'll be able to just add it in before I start my January spreads. I hope you've enjoyed watching along, and I'd love to know if you have a theme or what you're doing in your journal for 2023. Have you ever tried the origami journal? Let me know below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.